Its 6.5 litre V12 produces 789 horsepower, and every one of them is delivered to just two 315 section rear tyres. So you think you know what's going to happen next, don't you?
The thing is, the 812 Superfast actually confounds expectation. It has traction, real usable traction. And that means you can enjoy this mad V12 that revs to 8,900 RPM way more often than you'd think. Compared to an F12 TDF, it's a bit of a pussycat.
Now, let's be sensible. The 812 has the firepower to serve up big, gratuitous slides. Of course it does. But there's so much more control than the F12, and you simply trust it so much more than the spiky, borderline evil TDF. The uncompromising F12 TDF was the testbed for the Superfast in many ways, trialling the wider 275 section front tyre to create more agility and the rear wheel steering system to add stability on top of that. Thing is, they just didn't nail the TDF, and it felt properly scary at times, and always just a bit unnatural. The Superfast isn't as raw, as physical, but it's better in almost every way.
So there's much that's absolutely brand new about this car, and typically Ferrari have thrown every piece of technology conceivable at this architecture, including side slip control version 5, and of course that rear wheel steering. But the trick is that in combination, it feels natural. And as a driver, rather than feeling like a small part of the puzzle, you feel right at its centre. This car still is a driver's car. And this is the first Ferrari with electric power steering, which made me want to groan, I have to say. But I think they might even have got that right.
Before we get to the nitty-gritty, here are the basics. The incredible 6.5 litre V12 is pushing 1,630 kilos. The 7-speed dual-clutch box is 30% quicker on upshifts and 40% faster on downshifts, and each ratio is shorter by around 6% too. It will cover 0 to 62 in 2.9 seconds, 0 to 124 miles an hour in 7.9, and run on to 211 miles an hour. There's also trick new active and passive aero to achieve TDF levels of downforce but less drag, an evolution of the carbon ceramic brakes found on LaFerrari, and side slip control version 5, which orchestrates a whole raft of chassis technology, including a new EPAS system, the magnetic dampers, EDIF, traction and stability controls. The 812 Superfast is another Ferrari masterclass in rapid, detailed evolution.
The technology is mind-bending then, and so are the numbers. But what about the driving experience? So, the adoption of electric power steering. Ferrari don't have that sort of gritty, really detailed feel in their steering anyway, so it doesn't feel as fundamental a change as it did with, say, the 911. In fact, it's quite hard to judge the difference. It's still got that really smooth, light feeling. But you soon learn to just slow your steering inputs down and let the car take the strain. And that's always been the case with Ferrari. You don't get that incredible minute detail then through the steering, but it doesn't matter in some ways because there's so much information flowing through this car. You instinctively can just creep up on the limits, you can feel them. And race mode, and particularly CT off mode on the Manatino, they really help with that. They let you get a proper flavour of the car and its polish right at the limit because it has got so much composure and exuberance, but also control when you push beyond the limit, and that's what makes them so exciting. Now you might think this car's all about the drivetrain, but the chassis, I've got to talk about the chassis because it's so good. It's noticeably stiffer than the F12, not as aggressive as the TDF, but I haven't had to reach for bumpy road mode at all, and this road's pretty broken actually. And that sort of tells you how good the compromise is. What you do get is the normal Ferrari V12 roll and pitch and dive. These cars do that a lot more than you expect. But that, again, just adds to the information that's coming back through the car, so it doesn't feel unnatural or out of control. It's all perfectly smooth and controlled. It's just slightly more exaggerated movements than you might expect. The balance itself is really awesome, actually. There's none of the spikiness of the F12 TDF, which I just couldn't get on with. It just didn't feel natural to me. This car's different. It's like they've really learnt their lesson with this rear wheel steer system, and it's almost invisible. The car just feels natural and agile and trustworthy, and you just want to lean on it. It really is special. I love the balance. The only real weakness I can find in the package is the brakes. They are doing a hell of a job, I have to say, but the pedal is just a bit too long. You don't get that immediate reassurance that you would with something like a GT3. And if you absolutely nail it down a road like this, they just start to feel the strain. The pedal goes long, you just lose a bit of confidence. And in a car with 800 horsepower, you don't want to lose confidence in the brakes. In a world of turbocharged engines, this is a superstar engine. They're just so special, normally aspirated motors, and they don't get much better than this thing is. Ferocious and precise. And it just endows the car with so much character and precision and just excitement. If this is the last one, it's going out in style, but please preserve the V12. The world needs an engine like this. So we've had a pretty intense day with this car, and despite my expectations, although the engine is just so stunning, it's not an engine with some wheel strap to it. It's a cohesive, drivable, exploitable car. And when you've experienced this engine, that is some achievement.
So that's a taster of the 812 Superfast. On a sweltering day in Italy, it is a mighty fine thing. I suspect on a wintry day in the UK, it might be a tricky old beast to exploit, but right here and now, the Superfast works brilliantly. Near 800 horsepower and just 2 tyres to put it to the road. Turns out that's not such a silly formula after all.
Main showroom, you're greeted by an array of Lamborghinis. We've got Diablos, Countach, Murcielago down there on our left. We've got a SLR McLaren over here, a few other McLarens, SLS AMG convertible, roadside, the AMG GT, the very rare SL65 wide body. That's a black series. A Porsche 356 Continental, ultra rare. 993 Turbo. Man, I'm in Candy World here. I'm like a kid lost in a candy store. We got a 430 16-inch Scuderia and a 911R. Make our way over, and then we have a Speciale Aperta. Stunning as always. Beautiful cars. Murcielago. So many cars. And an Aston Martin over here, just hidden in the corner. But the best car is yet to come. We got a big following here. Say hello to the Porsche GT3. This is staff only, so don't try this. Alright, we're going straight to the dungeon. Man, I am so excited. You can't believe what, don't worry. I'm going to talk, I'm just going to have to show you. Come on. See, strictly no admittance, but we can. So this is a workshop here at Dunham. Something so unique. You're going to see this. It's going to be the first one and only one to be driven in New South Wales. And here it is, the XJ220. Mine, oh mine, this has been a lifelong dream. When I bought the Ferrari F40, I said I want an XJ220 to complete that 80s, 90s lineage. And here it is, the pinnacle 1990s hypercar. This was the first car in the world to break the 200 mile per hour barrier. And we've made it. Dream come true. We're here, we're standing in front of it, and we're staring at our very own XJ220. If you have a quick look around, you can see, so much work is being done to the car, so it's having a major service performed to it right now. So excuse everything. Everything is brand new. The car is a very low mileage car. This is an awesome car, right-hand drive. The engine is out here, major service. It just needs to be polished up and cleaned up. I'm really fussy, so this car has to be concourse condition, and that's what it's going to be. I'd like to thank the guys at Dunham's for doing an amazing job, such an impeccable job, the best deals. I am so grateful, so happy, and you know what? I'm very excited, and they've managed to put a smile on my face. So check them out, and this is what you can get. It's the only place I could find an XJ220. They're the only guys that managed to get me one. Well, here it is. And next time you're going to see this, it's going to be coming off the truck in Sydney. Now we're going to register this car on number plates. We're going to hit the streets of Sydney. This is going to be the biggest wow factor ever. And I am really excited. So until that next episode, thanks for watching. And pray for some good times. Catch ya.